Well, hello there, and welcome to this new episode of the Unmasked Podcast. It's Andy, and today I am joined by my lovely friend from the other side of the ocean, the other side of the pond, Stephanie Bethany. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing across the pond?
I'm doing okay across the pond. Yeah, it's really weird actually. Just before we get into stuff, because I was meant to record this with you 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Basically, I ended up getting this. I told you anyway, didn't I?
a little bit.
Yeah. Basically, I got this migraine, and just because of my brain, I just couldn't do anything because of this
Oh,
migraine.
oh
Okay,
man.
but I'm just gonna say what really topped this off for me. Um, do you know when you get an eyelash in your eye and can't
Mm,
get the eyelash out of your eye, even though you try so hard to get the eyelash out your eye?
yes.
That is what happened to me. And yeah, so
Oh,
it was kind of good that we didn't actually record that day because it just,
yeah. That probably would have been a mess.
yeah, most likely. But I'm talking about myself, and I should be talking to you, really. So, for those who don't know who you are and things like that, could you tell us a little bit about what you do, a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. So, my name is Stephanie. I am a late diagnosed autistic adult living in the US. And I run the channel Stephanie Bethany and just talk about autism related topics and stuff like that. And yeah, I think that's mostly what I do.
Yeah, I was gonna say like that's how I found you, but you also do a vlog channel as well as another channel. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. So I never know like what to say because I get like all over the place, which is kind of shown through the fact that I have too many channels. So yeah, I do have also like a vlog type channel, which I literally do whatever on that channel. Sometimes it's like actual vlogs, and sometimes it's just I don't know reviews or something. It's just something stupid. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then I have another one that I do like over Christianity and stuff like that.
Ah, fair enough. I mean, yeah, I mean, like it is really cool how you have like just all these things.
Cool. Like I'm like mismanaged, like unable to focus on one thing. It's weird. I don't think I've ever been able to settle for like one thing because this is like how I enjoy expressing. And so like if
Hmm,
it's gonna happen, it's gonna be like all the things that I want to do. I don't know.
that's fair enough. So I guess since well, you're autistic as well as myself, special interests. What things interest you?
Okay, so my like longest running ever, well, maybe. Okay, so like recent and long running has been like anime and specifically a show called Detective Conan that I'm literally rewatching the entire show of, and it
Hmm.
has nearing 1,000 episodes.
Oh God.
And then recently I've been really obsessed with Poshmark. So like I don't know, all of a sudden I'm just like, yeah, I can sell clothes online. That's happening. That's just been what's up recently. So
Oh, that's fair enough. I mean, to be fair, for me, I've been watching Star Trek.
mm,
That's been my thing recently because like over lockdown, I just got into this thing of watching TV show after TV show or movie after movie. And one of those was Voyager because I liked
mm.
Voyager as a kid. So I ended up getting into the Next Generation, which I'm on season 4 of 7. So,
Oh wow.
we have all the things. Not like a
Mm.
thousand episodes, but
The good news is that not apparently like 40% of those are not canon. So my rewatching, I'm just rewatching the canon ones, which actually explains a lot of my confusion from watching it the first time around.
All
Yeah.
right. So you obviously have like free YouTube channels, with different things going on, which is obviously cool, and it's really amazing things, because I mean I learn a lot from you, and you have probably put up with me. I don't know.
What? No. Oh my goodness, no.
Oh, I'm self-deprecating.
Uh,
I've always been like that.
it's okay. Like, so I kind of have a bad habit of like being like, oh my gosh, you can't do that to yourself, but I'll do it to myself. So, it's that's how it goes.
But it's weird though, because I would say to you, don't do that to yourself.
Yeah.
So it's just like a tumble dryer, uh,
Mm.
like a washing machine of self-deprecation.
Yay.
Yay, power to the people. But kind of my question is, I don't know if you've ever talked about why you started YouTube or how you got into YouTube.
Oh yeah. So okay. So yeah, sorry. I'm really bad at like collecting myself to answer questions. So might be super fun for everyone listening.
Oh, it's okay, no worries. You do you.
But so basically, video in general has always been kind of an interest of mine. However, I used to dabble in it a little bit like on YouTube, and basically the reason I actually stuck with this channel was because I made a lyric video to a song that I needed lyric video for, and I was just
Hmm.
like, I'll pop that on YouTube, and it ended up getting like 7 million views over time, which yeah, so like
I
that was,
remember.
and multiple people have been like, did you like buy views or did you buy subscribers? Because my stats, I finally privated that video and my stats dropped like 7 million views. And like
Hmm.
people were like, no one's watching your videos that much, like because I had, I think, 7,000 at a time, one time, just from having that video up, subscribers.
Hmm.
And then it had started going down because people are like, okay, well, you're not posting these music video things that we want to watch, because that's why they subscribed.
Hmm.
And so I had started putting out like a few videos that were super messy, like so messy. I just sat in front of my phone for like an hour and talked, and pretty much never said what I was trying to say. It was really bad. And then I got really discouraged because I'm looking at like, wow, I have 7,000 subscribers. This is so cool. And like 20 people watched it and nobody commented. So I was like, well, this sucks, right? And yet I still wanted to do it. And that was like the annoying thing, was like, I suck at this. I failed at this, but I want to do it. So then all of a sudden, one year in September, I just decided I'm going to make so at the time I had actually wanted to do all these 3 different types of things, but I had them all on one channel.
Hmm.
So I was like, I'm gonna talk about like something vloggy or whatever, and then I'll talk about something with like religion stuff or whatever. And so like I literally took all of a month or two to set up September, and then I just like launched my channel so that people couldn't discourage me from it. So yeah, and then I kind of kept my mouth shut about autism for a while because I didn't have a diagnosis and I didn't want to like put myself out there without an official diagnosis, for me personally.
Hmm.
And then I started kind of dabbling and being like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm autistic, but like I might talk about it, but it's not going to be the whole channel. And then like now it's literally the whole channel. So that's kind of how that worked out. Yeah.
Oh, no, that's cool, because I always I don't know, because obviously I knew you had a like a thing with like a lyric video one time.
Yeah.
I knew, because obviously we've talked and stuff.
Mm,
But like I was just wondering. So it what autism wasn't the focus at the time. It just sort of came about.
yeah.
All right. Like, what was what? made you want to do the videos? I guess is
Mm.
what I'm trying to
Like do
kind
like
of.
autism videos is what you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Sorry.
it's all. I literally just said like and didn't say anything else.
I do the same thing so much.
Uh,
Oh, sorry. Okay. Like is my favorite qualifier because I don't want to say definitive things if they aren't definitive in my brain. So I'll say like. And let's just say that a lot of my videos are very like heavy. But no, so basically autism almost became like a special interest kind of thing because it was like, oh, here's the answer to all the things I've been wondering about myself and going into like really dark mental places about for like ever.
yeah.
And then I wasn't seeing a whole lot of people at the time, at least in the US, that were sharing about it, and I felt like I was in like this little corner of the world by myself.
Hmm.
And um, I mean, yeah, there were some people, but like I don't know, it just felt like if I could share maybe about things that there would be more content out there. So like not necessarily that like, wow, I'm so important, like everybody should listen to me, but if there are, 20 things out there on autism stimming, that might help people actually come across one of those.
Hmm.
Someone might be able to come across this thing that really helped me, and then of course I just want to share my story too, and also I like to like research and stuff, and so like it's really hard because like in my personal life people don't really care that much about that stuff. They're like, oh, okay, that's nice. When you're online, I'm just like, look at all this beautiful research, and this is what this means, and I didn't know what that meant, so now here you go, this is what this means. And people are like, oh, this is great. I'm like, yes, this is my place. I like these people.
I was gonna say that's like my life as well, because I don't know, I don't talk about it with work people or anything like that. That's just kind of the decision that I've made.
Mm.
So like uh, I don't know, it's not something that comes up, but when I come online, it's just like autism. It's like a magical rainbow that comes over the hills. It's just I don't know, lovely and warming, really.
Mm.
So it's I think for me when I think our stories are very similar because I started just doing random videos on my YouTube channel, and I don't know I don't know if you ever saw any of the old videos.
I
If you
don't think I've seen the old ones now.
Oh, thank goodness.
I mean, so I'm gonna have to go look into those now.
Oh man, no, no. But no, like I started doing some because I started to feel comfortable with myself and finding people like Invisible Eye, Katie, who I do want on the podcast. Just
That would be so cool.
wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? It would
It
be.
would be. She
It,
was one of the people I did come across like while I was searching and everything. So I mean, it'd be freaking cool.
I think it would be, but like people like that really helps me. I don't know, do this, the thing that I'm doing now, the whole reason why I'm talking to you now, and it's just mad. It's just absolutely mad, really. Yeah, I was going to say, like you mentioned, obviously you like researching into stuff. Like, like, is it just you being you? Like, what is it about researching autism that I don't know that interests you and makes you want to put that online?
I think usually it's to satisfy my own curiosity for the most part. So like when I was definitely starting, because I'd be like, I hear this word stimming, but what does it mean? And even like with some of the videos that I might be like known for,
Hmm.
that are more research heavy, like the thing on Autism Speaks or ABA therapy, like these are things I'm like, I'm hearing bad stuff about this, but I don't know if that's true because I don't like making a decision based off of other people's opinions. So
Oh,
like that kind of stuff has always been like, I want to see for myself, is this what people say it is? And if so, why is that? And why are people acting like this? So like a lot of that stuff is very, it's almost like I wanted to answer my own questions. Now I'll kind of ask people if they want me to look into certain things just because not that I don't have things I want to look into, because I do. Um, Sometimes I look into things that I want to look into, and they don't necessarily always jive with the audience. They're like, okay, but like I don't care. So asking sometimes, like, okay, well, what do you want to know about, and I'll find out about it, and we'll talk about it. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, I was gonna say that you obviously you did the like three-parter on Autism Speaks, like that, like that video in itself. Like when I was, because I watched them all. I was just, God, she must have edited for days.
It was so long. It
It
was so
was.
long.
I mean, it does. Obviously, I'm not. I'm joking about how long it was, but I think it needed to get the facts across. I think it absolutely needed to. But I was just like, God, that was actually amazing. Just the actual detail you put in was really great, and I loved. And I think a lot of other people got that as well.
I really appreciate that, because like literally, like I was like, there was a time I was like, I can't even with this. Like, it's taking me hours to get through like 5 minutes of this video, and I don't know if this is worth it. So sorry. Okay, sorry. I just needed to let you know I appreciated you noticing that.
We do the same sort of thing, so I can obviously appreciate that. And it's not even about the length either. It's just information for me. Like, I'm pretty sure that anyone else who's listening or watching on YouTube, you can find this podcast on YouTube as well. If you listen on Spotify or wherever else, you'll get your dose of the Unmasked Podcast. But it's such a difficult thing. Doing the editing and the research behind it as well. So it's like it's just a lot. And I think for me personally, like the ABA video just kind of like it just made me really think like you're the person that does the research, who loves doing the research and putting it into a form which I can actually understand
Yeah.
in a video, like a video format.
Mm. It's like really weird with that stuff, because I know, like, I don't know, so like English type of stuff has been my, like, something I'm good at, right? So like I'm not good at math and stuff, but I'm good at English things. And so I've noticed that I tend to be able to like get into things where people kind of like are like, okay, I don't care anymore, you know.
Mm.
And then sometimes, especially with those two, it's almost like I feel like an urgency, like, oh, I understand this, but people don't, because this is not accessible to them. Like, this doesn't make any sense. This is going to
Mm.
take me forever to research. And then it's almost like I have to put this out right now. Like, everybody has to know about this. You need to understand. You will understand.
You will understand this.
I'll put it on the screen all pretty for you, so please understand. Like, I don't know. But.
No, I think that's a very fair, valid point. Is there, I don't know, like a video you're proud of, or like what video have you had the most kind of like feedback on? I don't know. What are you proud of, of your channel? Like what video?
I really am probably the most proud of the ABA thing, because not only was that like a lot of research, but I actually like talked to people in real life. I like organized interviews with people. That was a lot for me. And so like putting that all together, I'm really proud of it. I am kind of sad that it had to become so long, because a lot of people are kind of off put by the length of it, and I don't blame anybody for that. It's like 2 hours long. It's kind of intense.
Yeah.
Um, but like I'm really proud of it, and I think that it was really cool to see like people being like, oh, like this is a place that I can understand. So yeah, that is probably up there on the list.
I was gonna say I learned a lot about ABA because in the UK we really don't have ABA. I think we do have aspects of ABA, but it's not it's not something that's recommended on the NHS as far as I know. I don't know. I'm not the real. I know what I need to know.
Right.
Yeah, in my head,
Mm.
But no, it was really interesting actually hearing like both sides of the argument from the people who obviously do the ABA, and then like counterpoints. I think that's what you're really good at. Actually, you kind of. I think this is why I really like you actually as a creator, because like you obviously do the research stuff, which is cool, but I think we just have that kind of, I don't know, you can kind of see both sides of the aisle. I think that's the right expression.
Right, like
Like,
something close to that.
yeah,
Yeah.
aisle, alleyway, I don't know.
Mm. I think I agree. Like I think I enjoy your content for that reason as well. And like even just talking to you in general, like just being reasonable. And I think that's something that's hard to come by online a lot of times. Is like especially well, I think it doesn't help that we are in an autistic community because
Mm,
we tend to be very singularly focused, and if we have a conviction about something, that is it. Like the end. You can't convince me otherwise, right?
yeah.
And sometimes that can be an awesome thing, and sometimes it's not such a great thing. So I'm trying to show, like, okay, like before you form your very strong opinion, let's look at all of this information, and then do your thing. But yeah, it's really nice to know that there are other creators out there who are also willing to like be reasonable about things, if that makes sense.
No, makes absolute sense. I mean, like to be fair, I think you have to kind of be reasonable in some respects to be able to do it. You,
Mm.
I think you kind of have to just. Uh, I don't know. I think I've always been like that, where I've seen both sides of things
Yeah.
anyway. But I think you kind of have to try and see things from both perspectives, especially when you're I don't know, when you're putting yourself out on the
Mm.
internet, I guess.
True. Yeah.
But I guess actually that kind of leads on nicely to a question I'd wanted to ask. Um, what? No, actually, no, not what. Oh God, that was posed so well, and then it just messed up. Uh, what other channels do you like? Which other autistic YouTubers do you like? I kind of fancy having an autistic YouTuber kind of chat and see where we
Okay.
land.
Okay, so I'll be completely honest. I tend to not watch as many autistic YouTubers anymore. And I think the reason is mostly because I'm afraid that somehow I'm gonna like talk about what they're talking about. I'm just super worried. And we've had this conversation before,
Mm,
that we're like, no matter what, we are gonna overlap topics because that's just part of it. I just like worry that I'm gonna like adopt someone else's words or something. Like I don't know. I just worry about that. But when I do, when I do, I watch like Sam D Sam, which I personally think is kind of cool because like I was part of the people who shared her when she was like before 1,000, so I was all like, oh. Anyway, uh,
I I have to say, I think I'm pretty sure I was. It was before she blew up.
yeah, yeah.
Anyway, yeah, it was before she blew up. I love Sam as well, and Sam, if you're listening, because she listened to the first episode, which I was really surprised with.
Oh, that's cool.
It's lovely. It was lovely. Sam, if you want to come onto the podcast, please get in touch. Because you know, no, I like Sam. I like
Mm.
Sam. I like Sam a lot. Yeah, I'm just trying to think who else. Who else do I like? I mean, obviously Katie
Mm.
mentioned. I mean, who else is there actually? Just thinking about it.
So like, there's the Aspie World. He kind of introduced me to the concept. I think like he's very good at like drawing in beginner people, maybe like people who are new to the topic.
Hmm.
I haven't really watched him a lot recently, but like I did want to say that because like definitely he was one of the people that I was like, oh. Like, is this a thing? Because like, and I was one of those annoying people who was like, is this an autistic trait? Is this an autistic trait? Is this, like, instead of like research, like, hey, you random person on the internet, tell me about all this stuff. Be my Google for me.
Tell me everything.
Yeah.
Uh,
So there's that. And then like some people I've like watched just because like I have like friendship with them. They might not be like super big or whatever yet. So like I've Autism Sarah. We both are friends with Sarah.
oh yeah, I love
From
Sarah.
Norway. Yeah, I love her so much. She has like such a good way of like. She's very like if autism topics were just like supernatural to like the average YouTube vlogger, that would be her. Like she does so good at that.
Yeah, she is great. It's also great to see like she's doing TikTok as well. Like,
Yeah,
TikTok's mad.
it is.
In the nicest way. In the nicest way. I don't mean mad as in like,
No, it's a lot. It's definitely a lot.
Yeah, I mean, she's great. She's really
Mm.
great. And just to talk about Dan from the Aspie world, I think he has divided people. I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's fair to say because I think there is this community. There's this group of people who really love what he does, and then there's people who are the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Of that. But to be honest, I think what people have to remember when they're watching people is, you kind of have to separate the creator from the actual person, I think. Because, I mean, if I didn't know Dan as the Aspie world, I would probably hang out with the guy because he's into music and stuff. And if he was living in my part of the world, we'd probably hang around probably the same social circles and things.
Yeah.
It would just be the thing. But yeah, you kind of have to separate the two, I think. Otherwise, it's it gets a bit. I don't know. I don't know how to conclude my point, really.
Right.
Can you give me a word, Stephanie, please, that kind of concludes my point? Sorry to put you in the spot.
Maybe I don't know if it'll actually conclude your point, but I'll just randomly add to it.
Nice.
So I think like maybe the word polarizing is accurate, maybe, because one side or the other, like you either love him or you don't. It seems like recently, but I think also people sometimes think that maybe playing the YouTube game makes you a bad person, but I think also it's hard because they think, well, like, if you put words in a certain way that you are not sincere, but the reality is, what is that person's goal? Like, as a YouTuber, perhaps his goal is to reach people who might not click on you and I's titles, that are maybe more, or I don't know, less flashy or whatever. And I think that like people have a difficulty realizing that there's someone for everyone and not necessarily everyone's for everybody, and that's totally fine. Does that make sense? I don't know. Was that even helpful? Probably not. But there you go.
I think it was. I think it actually puts across a point that I have about like when big titles and stuff like that, which I think people. I think when they see like a title like Dan's, where it's like 5 things or whatever, it's just he's. I think he just does it that way because he's Dan. He can do that. I don't have. I don't. Dan's just being Dan. That's cool. That's cool. He's doing what he wants to do. He's he's just doing what he wants to do. That's fine. That's cool. Also just to say to the previous thing, I don't really watch other autistic YouTubers as much anymore because I do agree, like you kind of, I don't know, it's really weird how it works, but also for me as well, I kind of want to not do what everyone's doing.
Yeah.
In a sense, because someone did mention it on a community post on my YouTube channel. Like everyone, like kind of does the same sorts of things.
Mm.
So yeah, it's just I think YouTube in general is mad.
Well, yeah, well, like, and I think that's another thing too is that it can be funny because you have people who are like, oh, you and this person did the same topic or whatever. And then you still have people in the comments being like, hey, I heard so and so talk about this topic, but I want to hear you talk about this topic. And it's like, y'all can't like make up your mind. Like, either we have to never talk about the same thing, or like we're okay to talk about the same thing. And it's silly. I think sometimes I even worry though, because sometimes people will point out, be like, oh, so and so did this like a week ago, and I'm like, that's really cool. I literally recorded 6 videos in one day, and they're like scheduled, so I promise you I wasn't just like, hey, look, Andy did this thing, and like,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know.
No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. And actually, just keep it on YouTube a little bit, but kind of going in a bit more of a direction. The Fathering Autism video. Now, I was very surprised. Okay.
Okay, go for it.
I mean this because like I didn't because I always saw I don't know, like you were into the facts of stuff, not necessarily giving an opinion on a specific person or group of people.
Mm.
So how did that come about?
Okay, so the irony of that is, you may have accidentally had a little bit to do with that.
Did
Just
I?
encouraging, yes, actually, by accident, I think. It was kind of something that floated in the back of my head, and then you had commented on, I think, the ABA video.
Do
And
you
you
know?
had
Yeah.
mentioned Fathering Autism because they do, promote ABA. And we were talking about that, and I was like, well, I was kind of thinking about it because, again, I was definitely in the mode of ABA at the time, and so
Mm.
like I mean, they are a major channel in the autism community, and they do push ABA, and I have like all this information now, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like hear this and all that, and then but then there's like a lot of people in the comments who are like, I hate this person, or they're wonderful, how could you say this, and it's like all this stuff, and I was like, well, maybe I could talk about how I feel about it. And then we were talking, and then lo and behold, Fathering Autism comments is like, yeah, make your video. And I was like, oh, I feel awkward, like I feel bad because like I'm just over here like blah blah blah, and they're like, well, hi, you're talking about me, I felt so awkward.
Yeah, I was gonna say completely forgot that whole thing happened.
Yeah.
Now you've reminded me, and I feel so terrible. I feel kind of
Oh
no. I was no like it's kind of weird how I kind of helped in a weird way. In a weird way.
no. Yeah. Well, like, I think it's just like encouraging the idea from being like yeah, maybe, I don't know. I think it's interesting too though, because when you give your opinions on the internet,
Hmm.
things happen. Usually you're basically begging people to tell you whether their opinion aligns with yours or not. And when someone's favorite YouTuber's name is in the title, uh, so I think I have like a 70% like to dislike ratio on that particular video. A lot of people telling me like to mind my own business, which I think is funny, because like if I'm not allowed to comment, then why are you allowed to comment on my video? Because anyway,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I think, I don't know, I did I did enjoy doing that video because I think I can like people as people and still disagree with some of the things that they do or the way that they approach things. Like,
Hmm.
I think that's important to like be able to, maybe even like you were kind of maybe alluding, Dan, or whatever. Like sometimes we can like people as the person and not necessarily always like every single thing that they do or every single opinion they hold or
Yeah.
whatever. And I think that like we can recognize when people do good things for our community and also be like, but I don't really like this thing. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. Like with Dan from the Aspie world, it's yeah, you kind of have to separate the content from the person.
Mm.
And I do, like, when you posted the video, I was thinking, oh, okay. So I did not, that did not come out the way I wanted it to. Uh,
No, I'm just kidding.
I was just, I kind of just thought, ooh, what's the tea? What's happening?
Mm.
What's going on?
Yeah, what's going down?
But when I watched it initially, I just thought you were complimentary, because it's obvious that they are like a massive kind of influence in the autism community,
Yeah.
absolutely massive. And I think you you can't really talk about a channel without being complimentary, otherwise it just becomes kind of slander in a
Yeah,
way, I
like
think.
being hateful about it or something.
Yeah, being hateful without like a cause
Yeah.
to be hateful about it. But also you were critical, which I thought was good, because you kind of also have to be, I think, because like we've talked about it earlier, they do kind of promote ABA through, obviously, through Abigail,
Mm.
even if they're not fully endorsing ABA, they're still promoting ABA,
Right.
I guess, is what I'm trying to allude to. But yeah, no, I thought the video was really good, and I kind of just wanted to give my thoughts and impressions on Fathering Autism as a channel,
For sure.
because I
Go
think
for it.
let's go. Let's go. Firstly, just before I make any comments
Mm.
whatsoever, if you're watching this in the future, please take note of the date this is going out, in case anything happens. Anything, right? What? What?
Sorry. I just I should have said that in my video because literally a week later, someone else had basically forced them to share information that didn't necessarily belong all over the internet, and people thought
Right?
it was
Yeah.
me. Yeah, people
Oh
came for
yeah.
me because they thought it was me who did that. And I was like, it's not me. I didn't do that. And it was like literally a week before that
Yeah.
all
No, I
happened.
know.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I know. That's that
Is that why you gave that disclaimer?
very much. But but also but also as well, obviously, people may see like this in the future and be like, oh, blah 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 blah, whatever. But no, kind of my thoughts on following autism as a channel. It's weird for me because I used to watch them religiously, yet for 1 or 2 years before really deep diving into my channel and things. And I think, again, you kind of have to separate the content from the people, because I think as people, they would be probably people I would get along with. They seem very pleasant, and there's massive heart and soul within the family. It's even evident in the videos, I think, which is obviously great, considering Father in Autism is an autism family with Abigail, who is an autistic person. you know you kind of have to have that kind of love and support network there. So from that aspect, I don't have a problem. I really don't have a problem at all. I think for me, just some of the things that are questionable is obviously just like the use of not the use of ABA, but like kind of the endorsement of. But I guess also it comes down as well to what other autistics have talked about as well. It's just um like filming the kid and putting it on YouTube, I guess. Like, what are your thoughts on not necessarily Fathering autism, because obviously you've made the video kind of explain your thoughts. But like, what's your thought on filming kids on the spectrum stuff? Like, where do you think there's a line? Do you think?
So I think like it kind of falls under a larger conversation, even of family vloggers, and then you get like down to like autism family vloggers, and so like some people feel like our family vlogging in general is bad, so then like that would dismiss that too. So it's like a whole thing. But I think I am hesitant about using certain things that are very private for educational purposes, because like, for example, I might tell you that I literally in another video I just released last week, I was sharing about how there are particular bathrooms I will not enter because that's just not happening, right? I might tell you that, right? But that's because I'm telling you that. I'm the one who is saying I'm not gonna, like telling you intimate details that maybe I don't need to, but I did anyway. But it's kind of different. Like if my mom were to be like, "Oh yeah, well Stephanie, blah 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 blah," like that would be like, "Excuse me," you know what I mean? So I think that like when it comes to like more private things or like meltdowns and stuff like that, it gets real sketchy to me, just because like a person's still a person, even if they might not understand, you know what I mean? It's hard because I think that's part of it, is people don't realize, like, they think like the educational role of things outweighs the possible embarrassment, but I think a lot of people don't even think there will ever be embarrassment because they feel like, well, they don't know, like they don't understand, so it's fine. And I think that's kind of where the debate lies. Like, is it still fine even if they never understand? And, you know, it's that noise is how I feel about it.
I think that kind of sums it up when it comes to Fathering Autism for me personally. I think it is like, I think they've raised a lot of awareness, I think, especially talking from a parent's point of view, because to me is obviously just, you know, the actual autistic person, not in air quotations. I don't know why I'm doing air quotations on camera, by the way. If you listen to the audio, that makes no sense. But like for me being like just autistic or whatever the heck, I don't necessarily think about the parent aspect of things. So I think it's hard to deny that they haven't had an influence, both positively, and I think where it gets uncomfortable is when, you know, obviously just like the whole like showing of like meltdowns or pre-meltdown. I think that's where I personally am not comfortable, and that's kind of when I kind of stopped like watching their content, I guess, for me, because I can't remember. I think it was when they moved into the new house with the pool. Lovely house, by the way. Really lovely house.
It was a pretty cool house.
No, it was when they moved into the new house, and they were coming in from, like, Abby had like finished school for the day, and they were trying to teach her this thing of putting the shoes down on the floor and then putting the bag through to the kitchen or whatever. But she wasn't. I don't know. I can't remember the circumstance, so I probably will get this wrong. I think it was like she could not do it, but they were still trying to get her to do it. That was where I started to feel uncomfortable, because it was like you can kind of see she was getting distressed about it. So for me personally, it was like, well, I don't know how to feel, because it's like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. And I think it's also hard because, like, I think personally that's where I don't like how ABA has influenced them, because I feel like a lot of times ABA will tell you that they're like pitching a fit before they're not actually capable of something, if that makes sense. And also something I try to keep in mind is, you know, when we're watching, the camera like lets us catch everything, whereas in a moment it might not have seemed that way. But then again, like, if you're watching it back, then you might have noticed, and it's your decision whether you're gonna keep that in or not. But so yeah, there are times where I'm like, okay, I don't think I'm good with this one right now. So yeah, I see what you're saying is what I'm trying to say. Sorry.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Because I just think they obviously have a lot of influence, and they do great stuff. I think just for me, content wise, it's obviously not aimed at me. It's obviously it's aimed at parents, which I think if there's content talking to parents that makes parents feel less alone in the world, that's obviously great. Mm-hmm. Whereas obviously kind of not objective, because I think objective is the wrong sort of way to think about what we do, but I don't know, what we do with our stuff is to help autistic people, and if others get that, that's obviously cool. Obviously I think they have a general aim of what they want to do. That's obviously great. I just don't agree with their methods. But not, well, just that, how much ABA is utilized, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just what I feel uncomfortable with. But I'm not I'm only saying as an autistic person, it's I'm obviously not there day to day. And I think the other thing as well, and Connor mentioned this in the other podcast, the first podcast that I did, you only see so much. So it's kind of like every kind of vlog that they do, it's kind of like a highlights reel of the day.
Yeah.
Content wise, it's not for me.
Yeah, I understand that.
I guess. But actually, since obviously you did your video, what's kind of been the reaction since? How do you feel about it now compared to when you initially did it?
So can you clarify what you mean by it? Like how I feel about the video, or how I feel about Fathering Autism, or how?
How do you feel about the video?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have a problem with when I read critical comments, or even just generally hate comments, I start to second guess myself. Oh, was I super mean? Did I just come into this yes, I want to use their name and be an awful human being, and I'll rewatch it, and then I'll just be like, oh yeah, I agree with myself. No duh, I made the video, and I'm just sitting there because I go back to see are these people legit? Am I just being a jerk? And so in that respect, sometimes I'm if I had not said anything, would it have been better? Because there are a lot of people, every time something goes down with outside people trying to do something with fathering autism in their personal life, which I think is inappropriate personally. People who called CPS, I don't think that was appropriate, because there was no reason to, in my personal opinion.
That's happened a couple of times though, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think the second, maybe third time, and they thought it was due to a particular autistic YouTuber because they had just recently been making videos on them. So again, that of course mine shows up high on the list, and so they're like, it was you, it was saying, oh my god,
it was guys, it was totally Stephanie.
She's an evil mastermind,
Obviously not. No, obviously you're not the mastermind.
No, obviously not. No, I think that's really horrible that people there are reasons to call CPS, and that is just not anyway, sorry, that just frustrates me a lot. But so I don't know, I think I'd still have done it, but I don't know. Sometimes it's frustrating because I'll get waves of hate because people don't bother actually watching it, and they're just like, wow, you have no idea what you're talking about, and you're just so mean, and how dare you hate this wonderful family? And I'm like, I don't hate them. What are you talking about? But yeah.
Firstly, I don't hate them either. I'm making this perfectly clear. I don't hate them. I just the content's obviously not aimed at me, and Do I question the fact that they do put like meltdowny stuff in there from time to time? Well, at least from their older content,
They're older ones, yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. Do I have the right to say my opinion? Yes, because it's my opinion. I'm allowed to have an opinion.
Right.
But but also, as a person who has an opinion, calling CPS, or if you're not American, Child Protective Services, because I know my stuff. That is not that is not cool.
Yeah, no.
Don't do it. As someone who actually understands social care in the UK, and when it's like appropriate to call up those services, whatever the reason was, for me personally, and like obviously you said as well, Stephanie, they don't do anything warranting it.
No, absolutely not.
It obviously it wastes professionals' time, which
Yep.
could be used to actually go into helping people who are actually in need.
Hmm.
It obviously wastes the taxpayer, because obviously,
Yeah.
because I think over there it works. Oh, sorry, over the pond it works the same way. Across the pond, across the ocean, it works the same way, where it's they CPS is government funded,
Mhm.
and everything gets paid through tax things.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it costs the taxpayer, and then it's just not nice for the families, because they're getting accused of something that's you know it just seems weird. Well, not weird.
Yeah.
Sorry, not weird. That's just wrong. That's
Yeah.
and they wouldn't do, and I wouldn't believe they would. You
Hmm.
know, I think, just to conclude my thoughts on fathering autism as an autistic person, I think they do get a lot of stick, but sometimes I think it can be warranted. I think mainly when it comes to, like, I don't know, the ABA, and some of the things they've done in the past. Obviously they've done in the past. I think if they just can try to learn from those things that they have, well, the videos
Hmm.
that they have done previously, and talk to us as like autistics and stuff. I think it doesn't just help them, and the parents that you know their content is profoundly aimed at, but other people, which is
Yeah.
obviously a great thing.
Yeah.
So I'm cool. I'm cool. I'm cool with them as a thing.
Yeah.
How about, are you cool with them as a thing? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I think like I don't know. I'm typically open to just conversation with almost anybody anyway. Like there are some people like like if I were to try to talk to them, it would just be them trying to start stuff. But I mean, like I think I'm pretty cool with most people and them as well. I mean, like we've actually talked a little bit like in private messaging and stuff like that, just kind of over those kinds of topics and stuff. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Moving from YouTube, fathering autism, all that jazzy stuff, I want to talk about lockdown and COVID-19. I've, it's a delightful topic, which I think all of us are aware of.
Right.
How, because I've talked, actually the first time I talked to you properly, like on a video chat, was in June. I think the only reason for that was because of lockdown, really,
Right.
which is mad. I should have done it earlier. Should have done it a long time ago, but I did not.
It's okay. I obviously didn't reach out myself, so that's on me too.
Yeah, I think for me, it's I don't really talk to many people because it's
Me neither.
overwhelming. It's overwhelming though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I guess, how is lockdown in the whole thing for you? Like, I don't know, how has it been?
Well, it's been interesting. So basically we went through like a legit lockdown for a while with like the whole like there weren't stores open unless if they were like grocery stores and they had limited hours and that kind of thing, and
Yeah.
you don't be near anyone else. And now it's more like the stores are open but have a mask on and try to stay 6 feet away from each other, so it's not major anymore. But when it comes to that, how to the ever so fun thing, my husband ended up getting it and got really, really sick. And so I was taking care of him. And then we went to the hospital and they were like, here, have an IV and your lungs are probably fine and go home. And it didn't get any better. And so we took him back. And then they were like, oh, yeah, we're going to admit him. So that was fun. And we, being in the US, we get to pay for those visits a lot of money. And we were not insured at the time because he was not at a job anymore thanks to said COVID situation.
Mm-hmm.
So that was fun. And then I got it, but thankfully it was not nearly as bad, and so I didn't have to go to the hospital or anything.
All right, because I know your husband got it, but I didn't realize you had it at one point.
Yeah, I don't know. It just didn't feel like as much of a big deal to share, just because like it wasn't that bad. I didn't have to go to the hospital, like yeah. So like, I mean, like I couldn't breathe, but like it wasn't like I had to go, like he had to go. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was fun. So that's how lockdown has been. I've gotten well used to not seeing people. I'm actually kind of low-key a little salty because now I have no, it's not like, oh yeah, it's COVID, no one wants me to show up. So people are expecting me to show up again. So that's unfortunate.
I very much feel your pain, pretty much, because I have to be honest, when we were going into lockdown, I was so apprehensive about it. Because my work, because I don't do this full time, guys, let's just put it that way. My work were like, right, we're gonna go, all of us are gonna go work from home. I was just like, well, firstly, how am I gonna work from home? How is this gonna work? I didn't understand it. Like, I had like miniature meltdowns over the whole thing. It was stressful. I mean, I think before full lockdown got implemented, I traveled up to my parents because my parents live 20 miles away from me. So me and my Nicola traveled to see my parents to get their printer because I was like, well, I'm gonna have to have a printer for my job. I mean, it was just because like they were supplying printers at the time, my company and stuff, but I just didn't have the foresight to be like, oh, it's actually something that I need, because I was so like, oh my god, what is happening?
Right.
But kind of like what we were talking about at the beginning, I guess. I just got used to it.
Yeah. How did you get used to the concept of only being allowed outside for an hour a day, though? Like, we had unlimited time outside, like as long as we weren't near anybody. But like, I heard y'all had to like stay in your garden or whatever. We call it like our yard or whatever. So.
Oh right, yeah. Like I wouldn't even say front garden, just a front garden or a driveway.
Okay.
To be honest, it wasn't too bad,
Really?
No, because like me and my Nicola, we just did the whole Zoom What?
I'm sorry. It's so cute because you always say my Nicola, and I'm like, oh, that's so cute. I don't know if that's like a normal thing or not, but it's just so cute, and you two are so cute. And anyway, okay, sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I like saying my Nicola as well.
It's so cute.
But no, we just I guess got on with it. We were Zooming people. I ended up using Zoom for the Zoom quizzes and stuff, like pub quizzes, which was fun. I
That
don't
sounds
know.
fun, yeah.
It was because like it was ran by my like sister and her friends. We literally just got used to it. Like I think like we said at the beginning, I ended up just watching like loads of stuff. That's how I got. Literally, that's how I got through. So it was like two run-throughs of Star Wars: The Clone Wars, two run-throughs of Star Wars Rebels. That's how I got through, pretty much. But the coming out of all of that has been the hardest, and it's still hard because I don't know I can't understand what the rules are.
Yeah.
Even now when I'm recording this on the 6th of October, I couldn't tell you I couldn't tell you what the rules are. It's mad. It's a madness.
I don't know. I think I was mostly like just frustrated during like the main part of lockdown because I okay, so the rules are important to me, and at the same time I also like understand some other people's points of view. And so like because people were home, some family members really thought that that was the time to like do family things all the time.
Yeah.
And I really didn't want to like, because like we're not supposed to be going and doing that stuff. And so like in my brain I'm like, cool, we're just gonna like stay in our places and like all this stress of it, at least the stress of being around people will be lowered. That was not what happened. And I was just like, I love you guys, but like please stop. Like we're not supposed to, please stop. Yeah, I think it has almost even the playing field, I think, almost a little bit. I mean, I think all of us have had a bit of an issue with social skills still, even just because we haven't practiced or been around other people a lot.
Yeah.
But I feel like other, like, I don't know, people who don't have as much issue with social things seem to be more understanding of me and others having social problems. So at least there's that.
Yeah, I think also as well. I think for me it was just having like a stop on things, obviously for the benefit of everyone,
Yeah.
for obvious reasons. I think for me it made me realize that I was doing way too much and not having like enough quality time with my other half. I guess because like yes, I'm doing this podcast. Yes, my Nicholas downstairs, watching, I don't know, something along the lines of the originals, probably. But like it was a lot. Like I was like recording videos on the weekend, and I was doing band practice on like Sundays. Like so, it like took up all the day, like most of the day because of it. So because like the normal, what was normal stopped, it really helped because like she was around all of the time because of her work and things. We were like at work, at home,
right.
which was it was nice. It was nice. It was nice just having her around and seeing her more, and it was just nice to have her around a lot more, and it just made me more appreciative of her, really.
I wish I was as nice as you are. So my husband and I live in a small space. And so we weren't actually like, doing our jobs just in the same house because he had gotten laid off. So that led to like me trying to do random stuff and him being like, but we could spend time together. And I'm like, but we could just not. So yeah. But no, I did enjoy having him around more often, just probably not as often, if that makes sense. Like it went from like this much to like a whole lot, and probably a happy medium would have been like optimal. Um, I'm
Yeah.
sure he got quite sick of me as well. He kind of took opportunities to go help people out. So
I think for me though, because like obviously like I didn't really see it that much, it
yeah.
just kind of helped things. But there did become a point where I was like, I do want to see the world. I did want to see the world again.
Yeah.
I mean, the first time I travelled out of my town was for my birthday. We went to go and see my parents on my birthday, which was the 18th
Wow.
of June. That was weird because it was just like they were like my parents were asking us like, oh, what we were up to, and it was just like literally nothing.
We didn't go anywhere. Like I think we didn't. We were inside.
I tell you what has really been interesting about lockdown, like people's reactions to it. I mean, like I don't know, like a load of like the autistic community were like I don't know. Well, so some of us anyway, at least from like my audience anyway, were saying they were loving lockdown because it was just great. It was really interesting. Like, did you notice that? How people were reacting and just how wild it was.
Yeah, I think it's. I think I don't know. I think it's been interesting too because like you got. I honestly the outlook at the beginning of lockdown was so bad though because a lot of the people that I was seeing online were very also prone to like paranoia and stuff and worry and anxiety. And so they're like, we're all gonna die, you know. And even at some points, I was just like, okay, I guess we're all gonna die then, you know, like because they're telling you like this is it's spreading here, and you know, and all this stuff, and it really just sounded like for a while like, okay, cool, we're just all gonna die. Sounds great. Like, I guess that's just what we're doing, you know, like that's kind of how it felt.
Yeah.
And so I think what happened since then is like the people who aren't super bothered were like, sweet, I gotta stay in my house. People can't tell me they want me to come over because like no one's coming over anywhere. And then the people who are worried have become the people who are like really, really mad if anybody like I don't know, does anything they deem unsafe, even if like the guidelines don't say it's unsafe, if that makes sense. Where like
So, yeah.
like you know, you walk outside, oh you can't how are you outside? Like it's okay. It's okay for me to be outside, you know. And then I also felt bad because I was seeing like in autistic groups, someone was posting, for example, like they had a medical condition that actually caused them to have low oxygen all the time. And they were having issues with the mask issue or whatever. And that's a very legit, in my opinion, medical reason why you wouldn't be wearing one.
Yeah.
And they were like coming after this person, basically saying like them not wearing a mask was killing lots of people and they better wear a mask and they don't care if it kills them themselves. And it was just nasty. And I was like, that's not like, I think that's the bad part is like we've been locked by ourselves with a nonstop like we're all gonna die, and
Yeah.
now our only way of control is a mask, right? Like we feel like we have some sort of control over it by being like, oh, I'm helping not kill everybody, right? And so like seeing someone be like, well, I really literally can't, it's like, well, let's forget that you're a human being and treat you like garbage. And it's just like, okay, let's pump the brakes, guys. like, like let's not become an angry mob and you know come after people or whatever. It's just that part has definitely gotten out of hand now, I think. But
Yeah, I was gonna say the whole face mask thing. It's just absolutely just. I don't know. I can't.
it's madness.
Can't even put it into words. It's like I did. It was really weird because I did a video with the YouTuber talking about face masks and stuff, but I don't think they ended up posting the video. And then I got asked to do a video for a thing which I can't say, but that nothing ever happened with that.
Oh
but it was
gosh.
but it was like to do with like face mask exemptions in the UK basically.
Got you.
It's like a thing.
Yeah.
And like it's kind of hard because it's like I can go about wearing a face mask. It's obviously it is irritating and like
Mm.
it is draining. Like I don't like, but I think like I can wear one, but I don't wear one for like a long period of time. So I basically
Yeah.
don't go out. I don't go out
Right.
really. It's just really. I think this year in general, I think has really personified just how kind of lovely people can be, but also how
I
the
didn't know that was sarcasm at first.
sorry. No, no. I think if I was being sarcastic, I would have just said something like how lovely
Yeah,
people are.
got you. That would have made more sense. Yeah.
That's kind of my inflection. Um, how lovely people are, but then also how kind of disgusting people are as well,
Yeah.
just with their actions and whatever else. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think at the minute with the whole COVID thing, it's just nuts.
Hmm.
It's obviously just crazy and like how are things over there now? Are they like what's the situation over the States? Because
Uh,
I try to keep up with Philip DeFranco, but
oh
it's
yeah.
but there's only so much I can learn. So how are
Uh,
things?
it depends, obviously, like what area you're in. So, from my understanding, just from what I've heard, like LA is still mostly in like lockdown or whatever. So, like that part, kind of, like very highly populated areas might still be in a heavier lockdown. But like for us, it's just like wear a mask and stay 6 feet away. And then we've also got some places where it's like, I mean, you can, but no one's gonna tell you to if you don't. So like it depends on like what store you go to or what restaurant you're at, that kind of thing.
Like England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. I don't know why I stammered on Northern Ireland. No offense, just it was a thing. But we all have they all have their own like individual rules about things. It's not like a
Mm,
united kind of thing. But like we have like local lockdown. So if there's like a rise in cases, there's like restrictions, but it's not like the national lockdown where it was like you can only go out for an hour a day. It wasn't. Oh, they go out for groceries or whatever. It's not like wasn't. It's not like that.
yeah.
Like we like where I live. They basically all of the like regions near me. We're all in like high risk, but we're still able to go out and. Well, I mean, I've been traveling to and from work and
Mm.
stuff. But it's really weird though because it's just like I don't because I'm one for the rules as well. I don't understand what the rules are now.
Yeah, like they're very strange now. Like especially like during like the main part of it, whether it was like decreasing restrictions or increasing restrictions for a while there, like everybody knew like
Hmm.
on such and such date in this county it's going to be like this, and now it's just like I don't know, I think we're allowed to basically do whatever. we don't, we don't, and then we're hearing like other states are doing these other things. We're just like, okay.
It's just like give us clarity.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I think that's the thing from lockdown for me that it's just the most confusing.
Mm, yeah.
Quite honestly. But I guess to kind of try and round off this thing, uh, maybe in the future, hopefully things will clear up. But yeah, hopefully they do.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Uh, just going to events and stuff. I think for me that just going out and seeing people. I guess.
Yeah, like I think the hardest thing was going from actually like for me personally, and like there's a local YouTuber group that I'm a part of.
All right.
We had actually like really made some inroads in like the community in 2019. So we were like invited to be panelists at 2 different conventions. We were like growing in our monthly meetings and stuff, and it just felt like, wow, like we're actually doing something. And then 2020 was like losers.
No.
So like, yeah, exactly. And so it's like frustrating because like, and even like a friend that had been part of our group and moved away, they were going to come back for the convention like later on in the year, and we were going to like hang out, and like none of that's happening, and it's just like but
It's similar situation. I was supposed to go to the autism show in
oh
London
man.
and Manchester. London was obviously going to be the big one because it's
It's London.
it's London, and pretty well. I'm pretty sure you probably haven't heard of Manchester apart from me saying it. But of everyone,
I mean, I've heard the word, and that's about it.
that's cool. That's cool. That is cool. That's fine. I think everyone's heard of London, so I think when it comes to like people who aren't in the UK, they just hear of London and think that's where everyone lives.
Yeah.
Is it actually?
I can tell you that like our ability to understand geography outside of the US is pretty poor. Mine especially. Like it's bad. It's really bad. Like I still have trouble with the whole like the whole UK thing, like confuses the crap out of me. So I'm just like, yeah, somewhere in the UK. Yep. Mm-hmm. Don't get mad at me. Like, yeah. Sorry.
That's fine. Actually, let me do. Actually, it's unconventional for my podcast because it's an autism and neurodiversity podcast. But I actually like geography. I quite like it. So to put this into context, where my location, by train is like because there's where I live is a direct route to London.
Okay.
It's about 4 hours. And yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, like that's so weird to me though, because like so I'm not 4 hours away from anything significant except for like the state capital. So like it takes me 4 hours by car to get to Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
Who knows what that is? You know what I mean? Like, so I guess it's like hard for me to realize, like, while it is like clearly far away, because I understand, like, oh, me from Oklahoma City is 4 hours. That's gonna be a long time, like a long way away. But at the same time, like, I'm at least probably at least 10 hours away from anything like important in the US, like well known. like this is me personally. I don't know why that became relevant. I'm sorry. But yeah. So yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, like anyway, yeah. Geography with IndieAndy. Let's make this a thing.
I'm like the worst geography student on the planet, so you're welcome.
But no, I was saying conventions and stuff.
Yes.
Like just all of that and just meeting up with people because I was meant to meet up with like Dan from the Aspie World and Kevin Chapman. I don't know if you know Kevin Chapman.
I know the name. I'm not 100% sure on who they are though.
No, that's okay. It's he's a YouTuber who has an autistic stepson, and the son's has been quite prominent in his like vlog channel because like he's like he's a football manager YouTuber person. So literally that's all he does.
That's cool.
But he also has a vlog channel. I met him at the 2018 Autism show, and I would have met up with him again. And like, yeah, just people. Yeah, just generally people. Just to socialize and stuff,
Yeah.
man. So, uh, yeah, basically, lockdown has been interesting, but also
Yeah.
it's also I think it's been difficult. It's been difficult for like people like in my social circle.
Mm.
Um, like I know someone who passed away because of it and
Mm.
things. Uh, so basically, just with the whole COVID thing, be sensible. If you can wear a mask, please do. But if you see someone who isn't wearing a mask, just don't be a douche.
Yeah, exactly.
Just, I mean, I mean, it depends because it could be for a reason, like
Mhm.
for you for your like the person you mentioned before, or
Yeah.
it could be just the fact that they just don't want to. But if you can, please do, and
Yeah.
just just don't be a Karen. Just don't be an
Right.
SJW. Just be cool.
Like, I think that's something I think a lot of people have forgotten too, is like, when did anybody become entitled to someone else's private medical information? Like, you know what I mean? I think
Oh
people
no.
feel like they should be able to walk up to someone and be like, why aren't you wearing, well, if they have a medical condition, technically it's not your business. So like, just don't assume that everyone's out there just to be like, aha, I am liberated of the mask. You know what I mean? Like, like, let's not do that.
No, let's not. But talking about masks, actually, um, kind of a standard question that I'm asking everyone because I think it's an interesting question. What advice would you give to someone to unmask or just to express their true self?
I think honestly, like the first step to even like getting there is to like understand that who you are is okay. Because if who you are isn't okay, you're going to automatically try to hide that. If you're not okay with who you are, if you don't think other people are okay with who you are, if you think rocking like I'm doing right now, right? Like if that's not okay, you are likely to try to like stop that, right? If you don't think
Yeah.
that even your personality is something that is pleasant to other human beings, you're gonna try to hide that. And so I think really understanding that who you are, and whether that's your personality or whether that's autism or whatever else, like that's okay. And when you kind of come to terms with that, I think it's just easier to let it all go.
Let it all go. I love the way you said that. No, I love that. I love that as an answer. Well, yeah, Stephanie, just thank you so much for just being here and just saying yes to my coming on and everything. It's been
Well, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Oh, it's cool. It's cool. But guys, if you want to check out Stephanie's channel and channels, I'll link everything in the description, show notes, wherever you're watching or listening. Go check Stephanie out because she is great at what she does, especially if you're really into like the more the factual side of things. Really great person and just a great advocate. You're just a great person.
Mom, thank you.
I don't mean to embarrass you. I don't mean to embarrass you. It comes from the heart, I swear.
I
So.
appreciate that.
Well, I guess all I've really got to say is massive thank you to you, Stephanie, for coming on, and just a massive thank you to everyone for listening to this episode of the Unmasked Podcast. And give us a follow, like, share, do that stuff that people do. I'm not going to plug because I plug or promote because I can't be bothered to. So do whatever you want. But until next time, I'll see you guys later. Well, we'll see you later. So till then, take care. Bye. 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 I have no idea why. What? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm sorry. Oh, at least you're able to like end things. I can never end things. I'll try to warn people that I'm ending a live stream, and it'll go on for 20 minutes of me saying, "Okay, thanks guys, bye. Oh, you're awesome. Okay, great.
Oh,
Yeah,
I do
bye."
it. I do it all the time. I do it all the time.